Hi guys, Begin Ryan, Jesse Ryan, James Crapper. And today I got a video for you guys pertaining to affirmations, more specifically how to affirm to yourself your reality in a more precise manner. You see, words are powerful, and if you change a few words around, you actually get more of an effect out of your subconscious mind. I'm under the very strong belief that if you do not believe your affirmations, then that means that your affirmations will not come to fruition. Belief is not the same thing as willpower, wanting it to be true, wanting to believe. As Agent Mulder would say, I want to believe. I think that's a 90s reference. The X-Files came out in the 90s. Yeah, because it's not the same thing. Because if you believe something because you know for a fact that you've experienced it before, like you believe that you can play football because you know you can play football, right? You used to do it in school. That's a different type of belief. And so when you say to yourself, I believe I can play football, straight away I want to say, I know I can play football. See how the affirmation has been changed? It's affirming to me something that I already know about myself. Now, that's not to say that you cannot make your way into a less accurate belief system. For example, let's do one for me. I believe that I know how to build a church by hand. I don't believe that because I know I don't. I can't say it to myself. It doesn't matter how many times I say that affirmation to myself, it still doesn't ring true. But if I say to myself, I know that I have the ability to learn anything? Just checking in with myself there. Something was like, I don't know about that. Anything? What about this other stuff that we haven't seen yet? You see, it gets me a little closer. If I change it again to, I believe I know how to deal with brickwork. That's a yes. I do. I know how to do that. I believe that I can learn how to build a house. Yeah, 100%. I know that I can do that. You see what I'm doing there? And so you'll know that you're doing it right when your whole body lights up. You always have to check in with yourself. And you can actually affirm your way into a new reality just by thinking to yourself, okay, how can I make $1 billion? How can I make $1 trillion? Right? You just work your way backwards. Well, I know how to make $10. That feels right. I know how to turn $10 into 6 gambling, right? I know how to turn 20 into 100. Yeah. I know how to turn a thought into $1,000 in under a week. Yeah. And so you just play with what you know. And if you don't know what you want to know, then find a way of expressing or affirming to yourself what you already know. Make sense? Nah, this will make sense in a sec. Because what I did was I went through the internet, and this one is from HuffPost.com. These are the most positive thinking affirmations. And I just went through the list, and I found ones that didn't quite ring true, not only to me, but I know they wouldn't quite ring true to the rest of the public. And I decided to change them to better suit our minds so that these magical words can better sink into our subconscious mind, thus allowing us to feel worth what we're trying to affirm to ourselves, what we're trying to bring into our reality. Relationships, money, a new attitude, a new way of being, new habits, and so forth. And so I'm going to go through these. I'm going to tell you guys what there's 10 here, by the way. I'm going to tell you what the first one is, the first one that I pulled from their website. And then I'll tell you the corrected affirmation. And if you haven't seen these types of videos on my YouTube channel before, then I'd actually encourage you to go back to when I first made one like this. I think it was 15 affirmations that were corrected, pulled from the internet. That's not the title, but I'm paraphrasing here. Here we have 10. I'm going to be honest with you, I wrote down 3 videos. There are the positive affirmation ones. There's a random one here where there are 15 that I can speak to you all. And then there's another one about success. I took the most successful affirmations online, only about 5 of them. and then I converted them into something that will better be received to our subconscious mind. So this is a nice place to start with affirmations if you're new, learning about yourself and being able to take what you know about yourself and to use that constructively in order to better your development as a person and a spiritual being. Same thing to me, right? So the first one is, I don't need a reason to feel good. That's not true. A lot of people need reasons to feel good. They need to wake up early in the morning to feel good. They need to fall asleep with a clear mind, a clear conscience in order to feel good. They need to start eating right to feel good. They might need to smile a little bit more to feel good. They might need to reciprocate a smile. You ever have someone smile at you from across the street? You automatically want to smile. It's infectious, So I'm encouraging a positive well-being. Now you can change that to, I'm encouraging a positive state of being. That sounds more fluid, and it's actually true. And if you can't say it to yourself, then you can always say, I know how to encourage a positive state of being. And you just say that to yourself over and over and over again. And when it's sinking in and there's no resistance, the more that you say it, the more that you'll notice that energy that's created will actually become readily available to you. It will grow in your system the more you say it. And that's the point of an affirmation. You're meant to say these kind of mantras over and over again in order to increase the amount of energy within your being. And I'm not sure who said it, but the majority of how you feel is going to dictate how you act within your life. You feel depressed a lot of the time, you're going to be acting like a depressed person. You feel happy, for the most part, you're going to act really happy. So that's just the first one that I did. The second one was, I control how I feel. That's not entirely true. How many of you control how you feel? How many of you come back from work, or heck, how many of you wake up feeling great, you go to work, and someone says something to you, you got to clean the toilets. Do you mind staying a little later today? That's going to knock your emotions right off center, right? Right out of the placement that you had previously put it in whilst doing the previous affirmations the night before. And so what I put was, I'm in control of how I react to, then I put fill in the blank. You can change this if you want. I'm in control of how I react to my boss. I'm in control of how I react to food. I'm in control of how I react to my kids. I was debating whether or not to put that one out there. I'm in control of how I react to Christmas. I'm in control of how I react to my partner. I'm in control of how I react to my morning. How do you arrive to everything? Psychologically. Because if you can change your mind, which is, by the way, one of the most easiest things that you can do for yourself within a situation that seems impossible. You can't change someone else straight away. It's not easy, but you can change how you think in relation to that person. And it's the same with your situations. In the morning, I can sit there and I can psychologically choose, to dwell in the darkness and feel like crap. Or I can get up really quickly, within that 5 seconds of time that I have before my mind tells me to stay in bed. And I can open up my curtains and let the sun beam in, which I know has an effect on my psychology. So how do you arrive to your morning? How do you arrive to work? How do you arrive to your relationships? Because you have control over how you choose to feel. And so you take the little amount of control that you have available to you at any given point of time, and you just take advantage of that. The fourth one is, my life is just beginning. That's not true. You've been here for a little while, right? I put, a new thought equals a new beginning. A new thought equals a new beginning. That's very much true. I know this to be true. Do you know this to be true? How many times have you decided to think differently? And then because of your change in your thought process, your day has turned out differently. The pace of your day has changed. Maybe you've arrived at specific parts of your day a little sooner than later. Your routine has changed. How many of you have started adding to your routine because your thought process changed? How many of you deviated from your routine because your mind had changed? So that's a good one. I'll say that again. A new thought equals a new beginning. Right? Affirmation number 5. My fears of tomorrow are melting away. That's not really true. Because you know you gotta pay rent, that's not gonna melt away, is it? I mean, if it is, you're probably suppressing it. There are 3 ways of dealing with your emotions, and that's definitely one of them. It's definitely not the right way to deal with your emotions. I have time to deal with the fears of tomorrow. That's freaking great. You have time to deal with the fears of tomorrow. At any given point of time, you can open up your laptop and look at an anxiety video. You can look up a blog, you can write a song, you can play music, you can listen to music. There are a lot of things that you can do in order to put yourself at ease. Number 6, I wake up today with strength in my heart and clarity in my mind. Okay. I wake up today with strength in my heart and clarity in my mind. You can't really say that unless you absolutely know, right? How do you know you're going to wake up like that? I mean, you've already woken up. I guess this is something you say once you've woken up. That makes no sense. You can't really say that to yourself. This is why I wrote it down, because I changed it to... I rest tonight to wake up anew. Sounds kind of poetic, huh? I rest tonight to wake up anew. You're setting the intention to rest everything the night before so that you can wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed. That just makes more sense to me, and practically it makes more sense because I've done that so many times. It's a good habit to get into. I've also made a video on how to, a little plug here, how to sleep better. I highly advise you guys watch that video because sleep is very freaking important for longevity. A lot of people are under the assumption that you need to sleep less in order to get more out of your day. And so they're forcing themselves to sleep crazy short hours, but then they wake up all tired and kind of groggy. They can't mentally perform well throughout the day, and then they crash throughout the day, thus ending up sleeping longer, wasting more time. It's actually a little different than that. If you sleep better, meaning you feel great before you go to sleep, you'll sleep less because you don't need much sleep. You'll have great dreams. You'll wake up feeling refreshed sooner, like 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll add to your day. Your lifespan also increases, so you're adding more hours to your day, plus you're adding more years to your life. All right, let's continue. Today, I abandon my old habits and take up new, more positive ones. Let me say that again. Today, I abandon my old habits and take up new, more positive ones. That's the one that I took off of the internet. I put, my habits are on a spectrum. I stay on the spectrum and I move over to the other side. When you look at your habits, like depression or, let's say, sexual addictions, to masturbation or pornography, some type of sexually driven habit, you always want to look at that as the side of a spectrum, okay? On the other side of that, how would you be if you wasn't always thinking about having intercourse? You'll be on the other end of the spectrum, right? You'll be complete opposite. And so when you think of it like that, you're not actually having to give up anything, you're just moving along on that same spectrum. When you think of it like that, you feel a little better, and you also feel like you can manage the habit much more easily, if that's even a word, much more effectively. And so, say eating habits, for example, rather than me saying, okay, I'm going to stop eating burgers, vegan burgers, because I know they're a little bit bad for me. They're really bad for me. They smell coming out, right? And if they smell coming out, you probably should be putting them in this hole. And so I'd say to myself, all right, but instead, I wouldn't even say but, instead, I can eat dehydrated burgers. Or even better, I know how to make mushroom burgers. I know how to make mushroom burgers resonates better. It feels like I'm not losing anything. It's on the same spectrum of food. It's just way over here in the healthy end of the spectrum. And so I like to look at my habits like a spectrum. It's probably best. I mean, you could try it out. I think it would be best for you if you did. And so that's just another affirmation that I ended up correcting on the internet. Number 8, everything that is happening now is happening for my ultimate good. I've met a lot of people who don't believe in this affirmation. This is one that I pulled up on the internet. And so this is how I changed it. I put, I mustn't miss out on this opportunity to better myself. That sounds very good, right? You don't want to miss out on any opportunity to better yourself. If you say that to yourself, you'll be more open. Your mind, your consciousness will actually expand to the point where you'll be able to see opportunities within your environment. You don't want to miss out on that, because if you miss out on it, someone else will get it, right? Put a bit of fear in there. That way you have something to run away from. You know, that experience of missing out and someone else taking your candy. Not only that, but you'll only ever add to yourself if you choose to go for the opportunities that you're now aware of, because you've been stating this affirmation. So again, that was everything that is happening now is happening for my ultimate good. I just changed it to I mustn't miss out on this opportunity to better myself. Number 9. I radiate beauty, charm, and grace. That was also pulled off of the internet. I changed it to, you can see how that would go wrong, right? I am the first beauty. I am the original charm. And I exist with grace. Sounds much better too, right? Basically, I am the first beauty means that without makeup, you're beautiful anyway. You cannot deny that. You'll always find yourself beautiful in some way, shape, or form. If you just stop getting depressed about how you think you should look, you wipe everything off and you just looked at the slight tint, the glint of orange in your brown hair on your eyebrow. That's pretty freaking awesome. That's two-tone. You got two-tone hair on your face. Not only that, but I'm a big fan of seeing light baby hair on the face refracted, as the light refracts through those hairs and kind of glows them to a specific golden yellowy color. I love that, you know. And so you can only see those beautiful aspects of a human being when they have nothing on their face. You're naturally beautiful. And it's the same with the eye. Tell me that you can look at your eye under a microscope and not be amazed. There are so many things going on there, so many colors. It's like looking at a new horizon for the first time. You can't help but be at awe. And so this is a natural beauty that everyone has. And so when you say this to yourself, you're affirming to yourself these facts. And if you don't believe in them, then get a microscope or get a macro camera and take a photo of your eye. Stand outside with a mirror. I like to bathe in the morning, shower in the morning, because then the sunlight hits my body and I can really appreciate how freaking awesome I look, how beautiful everything is. You know, and don't be ashamed to say that word. It's not something that only women say. If you're a guy out there listening to this video, you can actually use the word appreciation if it feels easier for you. Appreciate how you look in natural lighting. It's great. Charm. You can charm the pants off anyone if you're really confident in yourself. If you love yourself enough, then you can't help but flirt or smile or kind of convey that in a conversation, okay? So when you're better with yourself, you can charm anyone. You can charm the pants off of life, right? The reality is, you know you've got it within you. You've probably done it before in the past. And you've probably done it before when you were a kid. Same thing, right? Past kid. Maybe you did it as a teenager, you know, or a young adult. You've probably been doing it your entire life. In small doses, progressively less as you grow up. Okay? Charm. Just affirm that to yourself in grace. How many times do you almost drop your phone and then from there on out decided to handle it with grace? Right? Babies, if you have children out there, you handle them with grace. Anything within your life that you love, you take care of. When you're a kid, you do it a lot anyway. Right? With little things that you get. It could be a rock given to you by your mum, and that rock is everything to you. You handle it with grace. It goes on your dresser in your favorite spot of the dresser, you know, lined up with your necklaces and your friendship bracelet and probably your Nintendo and stuff like that, or that pound coin that you got, because let's face it, at that age, pound coin is really valuable to us. Not really because it's 100 pennies, but because it was given to us by someone that we loved. And so grace is something that's a part of our nature, it's a part of our being. Just affirm that to yourself. It just feels much better. Yeah, that's a good one. I am the first beauty, I am the original charm, and I exist with grace. That's number 9. I'm so glad I only wrote out 10 for this video, because I don't know if I could do 15. I could do 15, I'll just have to give myself a break. It's a little affirmation I like to say to myself. Number 10, I'm conquering my illness. I'm defeating it steadily each day. Sounds great, right? You want to really support people who are ill. And so that might make you really want to believe in this affirmation. A little bit of affirmation biased here. But there are better ways of saying this. For example, I'm actively taking steps to conquering my illness every day. Why not learn more about your situation? Why not learn more about how to fix your situation? Why not learn more about what you can do throughout your day in order to help conquer your illness? And why not learn more about yourself so that you can further make more space within your day? Because a lot of people say that they don't have the time. But if you know how to change your habits through other affirmations, you'll know how to create more space within your life to do these things, to start adding to your life, to get healthier, to afford a Vitamix, to change some things on your grocery list. And so affirmations are powerful. Affirmations change how you think, they change how you approach life. And honestly, if you say them with enough belief, more specifically, if you build on that belief through repetition, if the belief system can better ripple through your system without any parts of you being in resistance to said belief system, then you would have accomplished something that a lot of people can't do, haven't done yet, probably because they don't know how. That would be speaking the perfect affirmation for you. And if it's not working, then again, just backtrack, create some new affirmations to get around that blockage that you're probably sensing within your system. Kind of like what I did earlier with the whole church scenario, building scenario. I'm Ryan James Cropper. This has been Your Potential. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. And also don't forget to hit that bell icon just next to the subscribe button in order to be notified of when I next post a video. I'll speak to you pretty soon. Peace.